Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us today for today's webinar, part one of a two-part series where we'll be uncovering the secrets of the most successful business profiles on Google for new users and even advanced users. We're going to cover a lot of tips and tricks. Today, we'll kind of just lay the foundation for why your business profile is important, why it's worth taking the time to manage and claim your business listing, and then what to do from there. So again, we're going to lay some foundations today about Google My Business, and then we are going to unpack a bit more advanced tips and tricks tomorrow for the webinar. So if you haven't registered for tomorrow's webinar, I recommend that you do so. Along the same lines, we will be hosting live Q&As in each of your destinations starting next week. And then along with that, we'll have office hours, which is where I will be meeting with you kind of one-on-one. We'll set up some times to basically go through your business profiles and for me to basically go in and help you with any questions that you might have specifically to your business profile. And verification is going to be a part of that as well. So again, excited to unpack this with you today. Thank you to the Colorado Tourism Office for making this available. Some of you might have been aware that originally we'd planned to host these workshops in person. That was obviously before COVID-19. So now we are hosting via webinar format. This will be recorded, and so you'll be able to go back in and rewatch this webinar. So don't worry if you miss something. It will be recorded and sent over to you, and that way you can access this webinar at a later time. And then again, please be sure to register for tomorrow's webinar. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Looks like we have a handful of people on the call already. One quick note too, if you have questions, there is a question chat box. I do have a colleague on the call that will be kind of monitoring the questions and answering questions, and then we'll save some time at the end to address those questions as they appear. So I want to try to keep this webinar at about 45 minutes. That's the goal here. I know that you are all busy as things are beginning to open back up. But again, I just want to thank you for taking the time to join us this morning, and look forward to unpacking today's presentation with you. Okay. So getting started here, again, my name is Josh Ray. I work on the Google program team at Miles Partnership. Miles Partnership, if you're not familiar with us, we are an exclusive, we're a strategic marketing company focused exclusively on travel and tourism. We've worked with destinations all over the country and even international, focusing in on hospitality businesses and destinations. And one of the programs that we offer is this Google DMO Partnership Program, and that's what we're working with Colorado Tourism Office on here and providing this educational workshop to each of you today and tomorrow, following up with live Q&As as well as office hours, again, beginning next week. For our program, we've worked with more than 170 destinations now. And from that, we've audited 62,000 plus business profiles and points of interest on Google. So what we've done is taken those findings from the top performing business profiles from those 62,000 and compiled together this educational workshop, which will provide you with helpful and informational insight about what you can do to be a top performer in the world of Google for your business and really optimize your online presence. Okay, so what we're going to cover today, this is our agenda. We're going to unpack the business profile itself, where it appears, what it is, kind of what Google's intention is with the business profile, the local pack, distance and relevance, and how that comes into play with how your business appears within Google Search and Google Maps and other Google products. Having an up-to-date business profile, and then using GMB, whether you want to use it on the go via the Google My Business app or use the web browser feature. And then verification and completeness. So actually getting into the nitty and gritty of claiming your business, then working towards verification, which again, that's something that we'll be able to work with you on during the office hours. So make sure that you schedule time to meet with me, and then what we'll do is use that time to address any issues within your business profile and then help assist you with any kind of verification that you need. But as far as completeness goes, we'll discuss hours. There's a bunch of updates that Google's released recently specific to COVID-19 recovery. And so there's some additional hours options that we're going to unpack today. what it looks like to select a service area for your business, and then adding categories and attributes to your business, and then expanding the information within your profile using menus, services, and products. That's today's agenda. Tomorrow, we're going to unpack even more topics like photos and managing your visual representation, insights, as well as much more. So again, be sure that you register for tomorrow's workshop as well. So we want to ask the question of, what do the best performing business profiles look like? But first, we want to address, what is a business profile? And these are some screenshots of different business profiles throughout Colorado, throughout some of the different destinations. And essentially, the business profile is everything that Google knows about your business placed into one card. And Google's been fairly vocal in kind of their intention with the business profile, really streamlining the customer journey. So the idea is that a traveler can go in, use Google's products, whether it's Google Maps or Google Search, and pull up your business and learn lots of helpful information about whether or not they are going to visit your business based off the information and the content that they find. And your business profile is likely the single largest source of your organic exposure for your business online. We have an example of what that looks like here from this 2018 case study for the Independence Visitor Center. Their total online audience accounted for over 25 million. That includes website visits, social media views, search exposures, as well as Google Maps exposures. And the shocking number of 22 million of those impressions came in from Google's products and services directly related to that business profile, which accounts for 85% of the total online audience for that location in Philadelphia. So it's definitely worthwhile taking a look at your business profile. If there's one currently, we're going to get into what that looks like to create one, or to go ahead and claim your listing if you haven't done so already. But today what we're going to talk about is managing your business profile to a point where you have an optimized profile, so that as people are coming across it, they're coming across up-to-date, complete, and optimized information and content. And these are just some of the examples of different products that are pulling information from your business profile. So the two main sources to populate the business profile are going to be Google Maps and Google Search. So if I go in and type in a search for a restaurant in Estes Park on Google Maps, I'm going to be provided with all of the restaurant recommendations within that area that I'm searching. Same thing for Google Search. And then an example of how a Google Assistant might come into play. Let's say I was looking up a restaurant in Aspen and looking for a place to eat tomorrow night, wanted to see if they had any happy hour options. And I could ask my Google Pixel phone or the Google Assistant, say, hey, Google, what time is ABC restaurant open tomorrow in Aspen, and do they have happy hour? And Google Assistant is going to go into the business profile, scan that information, and then provide me with a result based off the information found within the business profile. So it's not only that your information and your content inside the profile is appearing within Maps and Search, it's actually getting shared and used on all these additional Google travel products like Travel Guides, Hotel Finder, and many more. Another place that your business profile is likely appearing is within the local pack, and this is going to be the result of a search for a keyword and a location. So if you go to Google Search and type in best restaurants in Fort Collins, then Google is going to provide you with a local pack. These are the top 3 results, and we're going to get into how these businesses are appearing here and what you can do to influence your business to appear in more local packs as people are searching. And really, it provides a huge source of exposure for your business when you end up in this local pack. There's, again, the top 3 businesses are recommended here, and then a user, whoever is searching for a place to eat, would have to select more places to see the additional restaurants. So the goal for each of you on this call is to optimize your page or optimize your business profile in a way that you'll likely end up in more search results or more local packs in the future. So why these 3 business profiles? How are they ending up or appearing within the local pack? Well, it comes down to 3 main factors, and we're going to discuss 2 of them today. That's distance and relevance. So obviously, you can't move your business closer to the person that's searching for your business. So you're kind of limited if you have a brick and mortar store when it comes to distance. You're not so limited if you have a service area type business, because you can select different service areas, and in those different areas, your business will likely appear. So If that's the type of business that you operate and you have services, be sure to select as many service areas as possible, and we're going to show you how to do that. Now, relevance you can play a role in, no matter where you're physically located. And relevance is basically making use of all of the tools and features found within Google My Business. And so we're going to unpack a handful of kind of the basic information features, but then we're going to unpack content optimization and visual representation tomorrow during our second part of this workshop. So again, be sure to register for that part 2 webinar tomorrow. We're going to talk about the prominence factor as well. And so the prominence factor is what your business is known for, what people are saying, and that's going to be ratings, reviews, questions and answers, and essentially how you as a business owner or manager can respond to those communications effectively. So when it comes to the local pack, again, that top 3 search result there showing, the #1 ranking factor is going to be Google My Business signals. And that basically means having a complete and up-to-date business profile. And essentially, better business profiles drive more exposure and more engagement for your business. In an up-to-date profile, they're 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable, 70% more likely to attract location visits, and 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. So I think we can all agree that as business owners and managers, we want more people finding out about our business. We want more people visiting our businesses, and then we want more people obviously spending more money when they do visit your business. And so just by having an up-to-date business profile can help that become more and more of a reality for your business. So today we want to help you maximize exposures and engagement for your business profile because it benefits everyone. It benefits your business, benefits the visitor, as well as the destination. And people are looking for answers online, especially nowadays as we're in this COVID-19 recovery timeframe now. As businesses are beginning to open up, travelers are looking to see if places are safe, if places are clean, what businesses are doing to ensure details in this recovery phase about their business and maybe what they're offering. And Google's a great place to start sharing that information from your business because people are likely using Google to get information about visiting either a destination or restaurants, businesses within a destination. And so we see here that more than 90% of online searches in the United States happen within a Google product. So again, it's really important to be spending your time in, optimizing your presence within the Google space because the majority of people are going to experience it in one or maybe a couple different Google products. So the first step here in working towards optimizing your Google My Business presence is to download the Google My Business app if you would like to make changes, optimizations on the go. This app is available on Android as well as iOS systems, so you're not limited there. So if you have an Android phone, you're good to go. You can also download on a tablet. But I'd recommend downloading this app, and that way you can respond to reviews and other features like that on the go. And again, we'll talk about how to effectively respond to reviews during tomorrow's call. You can also access your Google My Business dashboard through the web. There are some features that vary between the app and the web, so we do want you to be aware of that. We'll cover some of those different features during tomorrow's call as well. Once you have access, or if you have access to your Google My Business profile, you'll be able to access the dashboard, which looks exactly like this. And so during today's call, we're going to talk about how to edit your basic information, first off, how to claim your business, and then how to go in and do other and utilize other features within Google My Business. Tomorrow's call will unpack reviews, messaging, photos, as well as insights and why that's important to your business optimization. So verification and completeness here. First step here is make sure you've claimed your business. So if you haven't taken the time to do so, by claiming your business, you're going to have access to be able to edit the information and make changes from the back end of your business profile. So this is the first step. Get your business claimed. What you can do is perform a quick Google search, whether it's in Google Maps or on the Google search product or search engine. Type in the name of your business. When you see the business profile appear, scroll down. If you see this logo with the check mark here, that means your business has not been claimed yet. So we'd recommend clicking that logo and then following the prompts to claiming your business. that's going to be the first step in the overall verification process. So claiming your business means you'll have access to the back end of the dashboard. Verification means you have full access, and Google recognizes your business as a verified listing. And again, we'll be able to help you out with verification during those office hours. So if you see the Claim This Business, go ahead and click on it. If you don't see it, there's going to be another option here. You can go to business.google.com/add. And what you'll do is log in and then type out the name of your business. And in this case, if the business already exists on Google Maps but has not been claimed, or if it has been claimed, there will typically be an automatic response appear underneath the search. Click on that automatic response and follow the prompts. If the business has already been claimed before by somebody else, that will be shown as soon as you click next here. Google will alert you and let you know that the business has already been claimed. And what we can do during the office hours as well is assist you in that process of requesting ownership of a listing that's been previously claimed. So if that's a problem that you're experiencing, don't worry, we'll be able to help you out with that. If you're claiming a business that hasn't been claimed before, what you'll do is clarify the address information. So just make sure that all of that information is correct. If you do deliver goods and services to customers, be sure to select that checkbox there, and then go ahead and select your service areas. This can be zip codes, districts, counties, cities. So there's a bunch of different options there that you can select for service areas. Here you'll confirm your business category, and you can always change this at a later time. Different categories will give you different access to features, and we're going to see that here a little bit later on. But just go ahead and confirm that category for your business and then click next. Step 7 here will be adding in the phone number and the website. This is optional. Again, you can add this at a later time. I always recommend staying in the know. So go and select yes and then next. And this will just basically let Google provide you with updates about your business profile, maybe the overall health, and recommendations to improve your presence on Google. And then 9 here is just letting you know what you'll get by verifying. So taking the next step. So remember that claiming is kind of the first step of a 2-step process of the overall verification process within Google My Business. Once you get verified, you'll be able to respond to customer reviews. You'll be able to create promotional posts, upload photos, and track business analytics, which is all not available unless you verify. So take that extra step. So in step 10 here, there's going to be a number of different ways that you can verify. Again, I will not recommend clicking any of these options at this time. Let's go ahead and schedule office hours, and then I will be able to assist you with verification during that time. Okay, so once you've claimed your business, the next thing to do is go through and make sure that all of your basic information is complete and accurate. So that means just check the spelling of your business name, make sure there's no issues there. Check your address, check your phone number, add additional phone numbers if that's applicable, website or additional websites, and then hours and description. So make sure you do yourself a favor and write out an authentic description for your business that clearly relates to what you sell or serve from your business. And hours are critically important. There's a 300% growth in search interest for open now. And so this is probably something you've seen as a user, where Google will let you know if a business is open now based off of the hours that are included inside of the business profile. So earlier I mentioned our process of auditing the 60,000 plus business profiles. And one thing that we came across is that 53% of the incomplete listings that we audited were missing hours. So it's actually a pretty common piece of information that's missing. So therefore, it's one of those pieces of information we highly recommend going through and adding, because it's not going to take that much time to do so. And it's increasingly important, especially now, again, as we're in COVID-19 recovery, depending on what that looks like for each of your counties and each of your towns or destinations. People are interested to see if your businesses are open. They want to know what's open, what are the hours, and that's probably going to be one of the first pieces of information they're looking for. Special hours is another feature within Google My Business that we'd recommend adding in there. So for any holidays that your business closes down or maybe has condensed hours, be sure to go through and add those special hours. On the note of COVID-19 recovery, Google has added a new feature, which is called custom hours for business profiles. This feature was just added recently here this month, and basically what it does is gives you the ability to add hours to specific timeframes or specific topics, like if you have new happy hour hours, maybe senior hours, brunch, delivery, and many more. So on top of just adding in your typical weekly hours for your business, we recommend taking the time and really adding in that additional information, again, because people are looking for that. And if you don't provide it, they might look elsewhere to another business that might be providing that information. And if you're an accommodations listing, maybe manage a hotel business profile, you can add check-in and check-out times. So we have the process and how to do that shown here within the slide. But again, that's another piece of information that is valuable because people, again, are using Google's products to get information, and check-in and check-out time is one of those pieces of information a traveler is interested in. And so therefore, we recommend including it into the business profile. So now we're going to unpack some top performer secrets. So service areas here, I've already mentioned kind of the reason why you'd want to do this, but here's the process and how to go about adding a service area after you've claimed your listing. So if that wasn't part of the process during claiming, you can go in at a later time and add in your service areas. And so we have this example here showing the different districts that can be chosen. Again, you can choose districts or zip codes and other options for your service areas. So if you deliver products or services, be sure to add those service areas in your Google My Business profile. Categories and attributes. So this is going to speak to that relevance factor and really kind of amplifying or including all of the features available within Google My Business, so that as people are searching for specific items or specific products or things like that, your business will have a better shot at appearing in those search results. And again, in that local 3-pack that we saw earlier. The goal for each of you is to have your businesses appear within these 3-packs. Okay, so currently there is just under 4,000 US English categories. That does not mean that you can add all 4,000 categories to help your business profile appear in every search result. Google does cap you when it comes to the amount of categories that you can add. These are some of the different example categories. So you can get pretty specific. We even see a cat hostel here, which I'm always a little intrigued about that one. I don't know if that's like a hotel for cats or a hostel for cats to go hang out at, or maybe it's a hostel that has cats, and that's kind of part of the perk of staying there. Not too sure what's going on with that one, but as you can see, there's quite a few categories that you can apply to your business. And what we also recommend to do is go in and check for new categories. So once you have your primary category set, so we have this example here for this restaurant in Puerto Rico. We have the primary category set up as an organic restaurant. Then we have additional categories like fine dining, maybe seafood restaurant, and maybe a couple more that are applicable to the restaurant. The key word for categories is authenticity. You want to make sure that you're authentic in the categories that you apply to your business, because people are going to look at that. Maybe your business profile is going to appear in a search specific to a category, and therefore, you don't want to provide misinformation and then ultimately have a guest come to your business and have a very different experience than what they were led to believe about your business based off of your Google business profile. Adding relevant categories can significantly expand where your business shows up. So that local pack that we looked at earlier, just by adding those categories and additional categories will help increase the amount of searches that your business will appear in. And then as you're going in and adding additional features or additional categories, it might give you access to additional features inside of Google My Business. And so that could be features like services and products, which we're going to take a look at here in a minute. Attributes is another key area within your Google My Business dashboard to increase the information about your business. So we do recommend going in and adding in all of the attributes that are applicable to your business. And so go in and check off each of those. There are some newer attributes that are available during this time in COVID-19 recovery. Those categories for attributes might be curbside pickup, no contact delivery, dine-in, as well as virtual offerings. So maybe online classes. So if you're like an art organization, you might be able to select that as an attribute depending on how you're set up as a category. Online estimates or online appointments. So again, some virtual offerings there that you can apply to your business. Okay. And currently hotels have the most opportunity for attributes. So if you are managing an accommodation property of any kind, be sure that you go in and add as many attributes that are applicable to the property. That's going to help when it comes to people looking for places to stay that maybe have free parking, free Wi-Fi, a spa, massage services, and other attributes that people are looking for when it comes to attributes within an accommodation. So now we're going to talk about additional opportunities to expand the information within your Google My Business profile, and that includes menus, services, as well as products. So depending on your business category, you can use menus, services, or products to expand the content inside of your business profile. Accommodations do have limited access, but going back to the setting up additional categories, if you are an accommodation, in this example, we have a hotel as the primary category, but you're also an event venue or a wedding venue, that will open up the opportunity and access to additional categories or access to additional features within Google My Business, and one of those features being services. And so it is worthwhile to go in and add as many categories as possible or applicable, because that can also expand the amount of information within your Google Business profile. So here we're taking a look at the menu. Again, this would be a great opportunity to expand and really have robust information inside of your profile. Go through and add the menu item name plus a description of the menu and the price. And this will help your business profile appear in more searches. If somebody's looking for a lobster dinner in Breckenridge and your business has lobster on your menu, your business will likely appear within either that local pack or at least higher in ranking than other businesses would that don't have that information. So this is really just all about expanding the information inside of your profile to appear in more searches. Okay, and this is what the menu will look like to a user or visitor on your business profile. So you'll be able to just easily go through and see what you have. So go through your online menu. You can also include a menu URL, which we see here. If we go back, you can include the menu URL, which will take users to your website. So include that URL, but I would take the extra step and add the menu and items within the menu on Google. Okay, services looks pretty similar to the menu. Services are going to be exactly how they sound. So in this case, if you have like a spa or something along those lines and you have massage services, you write out the description or the title of the service and then the description. And so if somebody's looking for a deep tissue 50-minute massage in Aspen, Colorado, then your business will have a better shot at appearing in that search result. So even if you have this information on your website, it's worth just taking it in and copying it into your business profile to really just help expand the amount of information inside your profile there. Products is another feature where you can apply the different products that you sell. And so it could be useful for a retail shop, or in this case, a tour agency, where they have historical tours or like a rum tasting tour or mixology class, things like that. Again, you'll just put in the title, the description of that product, and then the price point for the product as well. Okay, during tomorrow's webinar, what we are going to unpack beyond just the basic information here is creating posts and utilizing posts to share updates and information from your business to Google. So with that, when somebody comes across your business profile, they're going to be alerted about maybe some new products or new services or new offerings. Maybe you have outdoor seating. Maybe you've upped your sanitation and cleaning practices. Those are all some different opportunities for you to utilize posts for. They're free, and we'll get into some best practices on how to use posts during tomorrow's call. On top of that, we're going to discuss how to manage your online visual representation. So uploading photos and 360s to your business profile and what that looks like to continue to do that. Many people will do what we just did today, set up their business profile, claim it, add their basic information, maybe add a couple photos, and then never touch their business profile again. And we recommend against doing that. Google likes to see active users. Your business profile will benefit by being an active user. And so one of the tips and tricks that we'll have for content tomorrow is to go in and add a couple photos per month to increase your visibility for your profile. And then on top of content optimization, we're going to discuss how to maintain and manage communications between guests and using reviews, messaging, and then even questions and answers, which is not included inside of Google My Business, but it's worth taking a look at because it does affect the information shown on your business profile. So quite a bit to unpack during tomorrow's call. Again, we wanted to make sure that we give you valuable information today on kind of where to start, why to start really managing and optimizing your business profile, and then tomorrow unpacking a bit more in depth of some of those different content opportunities. So that brings us to our close right now for today's basic information webinar for new users on Google My Business. Again, I've kind of mentioned this a handful of times, but be sure to register for part 2 tomorrow. That way we can unpack some additional really helpful tips and tricks for managing an effective business profile, especially as we're in this COVID-19 recovery phase. On top of that, just a reminder that we will have live Q&As for each of your destinations. So that's going to be a time for us to basically meet together and unpack kind of as a group different questions and answers. And so we're going to address questions that have come from today, frequently asked questions when it comes to Google My Business, and then any other additional questions that you might come up with between now and those live Q&A sessions. On top of that, we'll have the office hours, which is time for a one-on-one time where we will walk through specific issues that you're having or experiencing within Google My Business. And then that'll also be a time for us to work together on verification. So if you're interested in verifying your listing and would like to do it instantly, we have a way of generating codes to instantly verify a listing. So rather than having to order a postcard by mail, which is the process, that would be or order the postcard by mail. That's kind of the typical process that most people would go through and follow for verification, but there's quite a few problems that can occur. One of them being the postcard never arrives. The other one being if you don't have a physical mailing address for your business, so if you have PO boxes in your destination, Google will not ship those postcards to a PO box. So those are a couple instances. So go through, check and make sure that you've claimed your listing. Remember, that's just one of the first things to do when it comes to optimizing your online presence with Google. And then add that basic information in there, like hours and your description. Get started there. And then again, tomorrow we're going to unpack quite a few different content opportunities. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the presentation portion of this call, but I know that we do have a couple questions that I'd like to address while we're all together during this time. So I'm going to go out of here and take a look at some of the questions. So one of the questions here that I'm looking at is about appointment only. So if your business is available for appointment only. This has been an ongoing issue for a while now on Google. In fact, I work on the kind of Google community, I guess, dashboard, and this question comes up quite a bit. And it's something that I'm hoping that Google will update here in the near future, especially as we are experiencing different times in a new normal. There's not a way to select an appointment only option. What I would recommend doing is going through, tomorrow we'll talk about questions and answers, but you can address that question inside of your profile and then answer it as well. So that we'll talk about how to kind of apply frequently asked questions into your business profile. So you can address that there. In your description, mention that you're appointment only, and then add business hours that are specific to kind of where you're, when and where you're open, and when you're available to take calls or appointments. So there's not really like a clear answer here as to like selecting appointment only at this time, which again is a bit of an issue, and I'm hoping that Google addresses that. But I would just recommend selecting the hours that you are available for calls and things like that, and then addressing that information within your description would be key as well. And then you could also create a post about that information, and tomorrow we'll unpack posts quite a bit. Okay. Another question here is, what is the maximum businesses that one can claim? We have many facilities within our city parks. So that's a good question. You're able to claim up to 10 listings, and then beyond that, you will have to go in and set up your account as an agency account. And then once you're set up as an agency account, then you can manage additional listings. So that's something that we can work with a little bit more closely on during the office hours. I can show you how to do that. But last time I checked, there's up to 10 business listings that you can claim. How do we suggest categories? So not sure what that totally means here, but if I go back into the categories section, you have your primary category and then additional categories. That's what you'll select in here. If you have suggestions for new categories, so something that maybe isn't in the list there, you can go into Google My Business Support and just let them know, hey, my business is a bit unique and there's not a category that specifically can be applied to my business or maybe best defines my business. So that would be an option that I'd recommend going in and working with Google support and just letting them know, hey, we need this option, and give them the recommendation for that category. Okay. Let's see, additional questions. Question here, there's review automation software that automatically posts reviews. Google My Business, some of these applications bad since Google will index them. Not sure really what that's asking, if it's like posting the reviews on your website or if it's Google posting the review, like if they're pulling like reviews from Yelp or Facebook, which can happen. Not totally sure on the indexing them for SEOs there, but maybe you can provide a little bit more information on that question. For an online merchant that sells online only, can they get a listing? Yeah, so if you have like an online store, really Google My Business is set up most effectively for a brick and mortar store or a type of business that sells, like offers services, or like in the case of like a tour. So when it comes to like an online store, in that case, it's not an applicable option during this time. You could try, but I don't see Google allowing that option to be able to create a business profile based on an online store only. Are you going to address the problem with phone verification when there's a phone tree? So phone verification, again, I think along the lines of all verification questions, the easiest process and what we're going to be able to do, like the fastest process would be to go in and work with me on generating code so we can instantly verify your business. When it comes to a phone tree, if you use the phone option and there's like a redirect, Google will not work with that. And so that's going to create an issue for you when it comes to kind of redirecting the information to verify your listing. So in that case, let's meet together and work together on that on the office hours and assist you with the instant verification. The question here is, can you address the cost? There is no cost when it comes to Google My Business. So this is a free service and a free offering. So everything that we talked about today is really addressing the idea of expanding your exposure online organically. So none of what we talked about is a pay-to-play feature. Google My Business is free to use. Okay, this is a good one. It's specific to if the business exists on paper during this time but doesn't open until next summer. In that case, what I would do is go ahead and start going in and create your listing, do everything that we talked about today, go ahead and claim it, but be very specific in operations do not begin until 2020. Include that in your description, include photos of that information, include it in your questions and answers. But I'd say go ahead and get the ball rolling, get your presence going online with Google, even if you're not opening until next year. But just be very clear in your business profile that you're not open until next summer. You don't want disgruntled visitor or guest to come in and expect your business to be open based off of your existence on Google. Can you claim your business through more than one account? So there will be one person, so one email address that will initially claim the business. But once you're inside of Google My Business, there's an opportunity to add users. So if I go into, we're looking here on the dashboard on my screen, at the bottom there's going to be that plus icon for users. So in the case or the example of this question, for the executive director and the assistant manager, totally fine. You can set up the executive director as the owner and then the manager as a Google My Business profile manager. And so there's different criteria or different ways that you can title somebody inside of Google, and that will give them different access across the board to optimizing or making edits and changes to the business profile. So good question there. Once you claim it, you can set up a bunch of different additional users. So you can include a handful of other employees that they can all log in. So and remember, it just depends on how you set them up as whether or not they're an owner or manager. That will give them abilities to make certain and specific changes. This question is, we are vacation rental agency, property management company, keep getting reset to a hotel. Is there any way to control our category? Is hotel a more favorable category? Good question. If you keep getting reset, that just means that Google's not applying your edit due to maybe somewhere else online that you're appearing as a hotel. That could be one case. In that example, you would have to work with Google to make sure that that edit gets changed. That would be a Google support question because that's a bit more of a back end issue. It sounds like you've tried making the change. Is a hotel a more favorable category? It might be more of a favorable search term, but in your case, if that's not really what if it's vacation rental agencies and property management, I would make sure that your category is specific to what it is that you offer and what kind of business that it is that you run. Will tomorrow's session go over how to update the Google Maps Street View? Mine is over 10 years old. Yeah, so that's one of the topics that we'll cover tomorrow. There is a free app, that is the Google Street View app. And what you can actually do is go outside and shoot a new 360 photo in front of your business, and that will automatically apply to your business and also be shown on Street View, and will update or show first rather than that 10-year-old photo that's appearing from Street View. So that's what we're going to discuss kind of tomorrow during our visual optimization portion of the call. What are the maximum number of categories? It's up to 10 or 12. You'll be able to set like one primary and then additional categories, and it's up to, I believe it's up to 10 last time I checked. Okay, so we've reached our 45-minute mark here. I am going to go ahead and we'll end the session for today. Thank you for the questions. I hope that there was a handful of information that you were able to pull and glean from today that's helpful to your business, especially as we're in this time of COVID-19 recovery and what that looks like for your business. I really appreciate you making time to hop on today's webinar. Tomorrow, again, is going to be much more advanced as far as the different opportunities that are going to be available within Google My Business to not only just expand the information, but really manage your visual representation in a positive way for your business. So topics like Street View and 360 photos, as well as just uploading photos consistently, is one of the many topics that we're going to discuss tomorrow. So be sure to register for that. We're going to record that webinar as well. And then if you haven't signed up for the live Q&As for each of your destinations, it'll be pretty similar to what we just kind of did now with the Q&A following the call, but we'll be a bit more specific to each destination, and then specific to frequently asked questions, and then office hours. So if you need help with data issues or specifically with verification, again, that's something that we'll be able to assist you with during those office hours. So I appreciate you again making time for the call today, and I look forward to connecting with all of you tomorrow morning. Thank you and have a great day.